In the world of video gaming, enthusiasts often find themselves passionately advocating for their chosen platform. This fervent devotion can give rise to what is commonly referred to as game console fanboyism. This occurs when individuals vehemently defend and promote a specific gaming console while denigrating competing platforms. While it is natural for people to have preferences, this kind of tribalistic behavior can lead to a range of negative consequences for the gaming industry and culture as a whole. At its core, game console fanboyism is an expression of tribalism within the gaming community. People tend to identify with certain groups and develop a sense of belonging and loyalty. For many gamers, this loyalty has its roots in their formative years and what platform they grew up playing on. Personally, the N64 holds a special place in my heart because I have fond memories of going over to friends' houses in the late 90s to play iconic titles like Mario Kart 64. This phenomenon, while not inherently harmful, can create an environment where healthy competition turns into toxic rivalry. Gamers who engage in fanboyism may perceive those who support different consoles as enemies, rather than fellow enthusiasts. This division can manifest in online communities where insults, personal attacks, and derogatory language are used to demean rival platforms and their users. One of the most significant pitfalls of game console fanboyism is its divisive impact on the gaming community. The concept of these so-called console wars is hardly a new one, and console marketing used to play into this sentiment a lot more aggressively than they do these days. Can you imagine if Sony or Microsoft advertised like Sega did in the 90s? I can only imagine what the Twitter discourse would have been like back then had social media existed. Gaming is meant to be a source of entertainment and enjoyment, bringing people together through shared experience. However, when fanboyism takes center stage, it creates a hostile and unwelcoming environment. Instead of fostering a sense of camaraderie, fanboyism drives a wedge between gamers who might otherwise connect over their love of video games. This can deter newcomers from fully engaging in the community and even lead to individuals leaving the community altogether due to the toxic atmosphere. Healthy competition among gaming console manufacturers has historically driven innovation. Each company seeks to outdo the other by introducing new features, better graphics, and more immersive experiences. However, when fanboyism comes into play, the focus shifts from appreciating advancements to merely defending a preferred console. This tunnel vision can hinder innovation by discouraging critical analysis and the demand for improvements. If gamers blindly support a console without acknowledging its shortcomings, manufacturers may become complacent, slowing down technological progress and limiting the overall evolution of gaming. Let's say you're a die-hard Sony fanboy and you're hoping for the downfall of Xbox, laughing at every misstep and wishing for a world in which Microsoft just gives up. This is foolish for a few reasons. Make no mistake, any large corporation will succumb to their hubris if left unchecked. We've seen it in the past. Coming off the massive success of making the best-selling console of all time, the PlayStation 2, Sony was on top of the world in the early 2000s. They had sold more PS2s than GameCubes and Xboxes combined. The initial version of the PS3 that would launch in 2006 was a result of Sony feeling like they had no competition and expecting universal adoration. It was eye-wateringly expensive for the time, adjusted for inflation coming in at around $900. It had a huge focus on non-gaming features, with a bevy of media types compatible like memory sticks, compact flash cards, or SDMMC. Its online services didn't stack up to the likes of Xbox Live, and there were barely any games for the system in the early years, being the butt of many jokes. All of this led to Xbox, once a scrappy underdog, to swing back hard and dominate the beginning of the 7th console generation. Only after much slower than expected sales did Sony seriously change things up and redesign the console several times to get that price back down to earth and focus on gaming first. Likewise, Xbox made the exact same mistake the following generation. After feeling on top of the world with the 360, they blundered and took the focus away from games for the Xbox One. I want everyone to succeed in order to keep each other on their toes and not fall into complacency. A world where Xbox and PlayStation are both thriving with strong first-party titles is a world we should all be rooting for. When fanboyism takes hold, individuals lose sight of the bigger picture. Instead of focusing on the enjoyment and artistry of video games, they become preoccupied with winning arguments and asserting their chosen console's superiority. This narrow-minded approach detracts from the rich and diverse landscape of gaming experiences available across various platforms. Gamers miss out on opportunities to explore different genres, storytelling styles, and gameplay mechanics, all of which contribute to the multifaceted world of video games. Personally, I love the diverse experiences that different platforms have to offer, so I have a Switch, PS5, and Series X, among many other consoles in my collection. Obviously, I recognize that the average person, or most people for that matter, can't justify buying everything like I do. I get it. When you've just got one platform, you want it to be the best one there is. That's perfectly understandable. But allowing yourself to become tribal about it is not only a disservice to yourself, but the culture as a whole. Fanboyism promotes a toxic consumer culture centered around brand loyalty rather than genuine appreciation for the medium. When the primary focus is on proving one's chosen console is the best, consumers may be less likely to hold manufacturers accountable for anti-consumer practices such as predatory microtransactions or subpar game launches. This blind allegiance can discourage companies from prioritizing player satisfaction and ethical business practices, leading to a degradation of the gaming industry as a whole. To mitigate the pitfalls of game console fanboyism, a collective effort is needed from both gamers and the gaming industry. Gamers should aim to engage in constructive discussions, appreciating the strengths of different consoles without resorting to personal attacks. Recognizing that diverse opinions enhance the gaming experience can help create a more inclusive and welcoming community. Take a deep breath, step away from Twitter, and just enjoy gaming in its entirety. Relax, it's gonna be okay. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. Have you fallen victim to the pitfalls of fanboyism in the past? Are you eager to call me an X-bot in the comments? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers, and when I do, I'm going to do a full game room tour you won't want to miss. Until next time, thanks for watching.